This is the earlier SAK. I've already tested this one. Grub screw version there. This is the single grub screw version. I've tried the 3 grub screw and the 1 grub screw, showing there was no difference internally. This morning I'm trying a different SAK, exactly the same manufacturer, looks exactly the same apart from one small detail. You unscrew the end cap there, use a 25mm open jaw spanner, it's a little bit tight, just unscrew it, pull the outer sleeve off, that's all it is, just a tube, and inside you got the monocore there. As you can see, it's machined from bit of bar, holes drilled inside it. There's a few fins there to separate some chambers, giving it 3 outer chambers to separate these drilled holes here. Part that screws onto the barrel where the end cap screws on. What I do when these are new, just give it a quick squirt of some anti-spatter spray and then assemble with some copper grease. On this particular one I put a smear to seal around this outer edge here where the tube fits on. A little bit of a step there in the metal, and also just on the end of the end cap, again where that little bit of a step is, just put some copper grease, a little bit round there. It all makes it a bit easier to reassemble it, take it apart. I use a small wire brush to get inside the nooks and crannies, an ordinary hand brush for the more flatter areas. It's a brass wire brush, by the way, not wire. The handy thing about this is it doesn't matter which way you assemble it, the tube will fit over either way. Unlike the grub screw type where it only fitted one way, this is very easy to strip, clean and then reassemble. Just pinch up the end cap. Now what I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to give this a bit of a test. I should compare it with the other old SAK that I've got, the grub screw version. The internals were slightly different, so I'm just wondering if there's any sort of difference. As well as that, I've got this little silencer here. It's an air rifle silencer. I've modified it. I gave it a try and I made a right mess of it. It went wrong, let's say. And I've tried it again, and I've actually clipped the end tube, the end cap there. I don't know if you can just make out that bit of distortion. Just clip the end cap. However, I've fiddled with it again, and I think I've cured the small problems I've had with it, and I'm going to give it another try. What I'm going to do with each of the silencers is put one round through a CB long. It's a low powered rimfire round, so it should be nice and quiet. I should put one round of those through each time, each silencer, and then I should give 2 shots. I should be about 60 yards away, the camcorder will be about 60 yards away. 2 shots of Ely subsonics, those are the ones I normally hunt with. And I forgot to mention with the CB long, it's going to be a side on and it's going to be a couple of yards away, just to see what the difference is. Well, the proof in the pudding, as they say, is actually trying it. So let's go and see what happens. Well, that was a bit of a disaster with this air rifle silencer with modified internals. With the CB long, it was quite good. I was quite pleased with it. And then when I tried the Ely Subsonics, way too noisy. So that one's for the scrap bin. I shan't be using that one again. Well, maybe not the scrap bin, but definitely back to the drawing board. Now, the difference between the old SAK and the new SAK. To be honest, I don't think there was anything in it. If there was any slight advantage with either one, I certainly wouldn't be bothered. For me though, it's simply a case of value for money and ease of using it. And to me, this one works. Simply pull off the end cap, slide off the tube, quick rub down, bit of treatment with the anti-spatter, the non-stick stuff, and bit of copper grease, screw back up that end cap, job done. So I'm now changing over to the more newest version of the SAK. They can be used on air rifles, certainly used for, and I think that's what they was designed for, the 22 rimfire, but also quite a few people use them on the HMR as well. For the next test I will try it on a HMR just to see what it's like, something quite different. For now, I think my favourite is going to be the good old SAK.